What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I know I am. It's been some great basketball tonight. I wanted to shed some light on the Memphis Grizzlies, and I don't think that the team is getting enough recognition for how good they've been, or not even good, great they've been this season. Before I go into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. All right, so John Morant gets pretty much all the headlines, and he deserves all the attention he's getting. He's working his way into the MVP conversation. And, it looks like for the next 10 years, he's going to be in it no matter what. But while Jaw's amazing, and I'm not sliding him at all, the rest of this team is like fantastic. This team is like 12 rotation players deep. Like there's 12 dudes on this team that every other team can probably take one or two of these guys and put them somewhere in their starting five. And like they're going to be happy with it. Like I'm going to list these 12 guys right now, and you tell me which one is not a rotational player in the NBA. John Morant, if you say he's not, you're just an absolute hater. Desmond Bane, he's a beast. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's been having a really, really good year. I think he's been slept on this season personally. Steven Adams is just a workhorse. He just never misses games, fights off every single injury. He's great on the offensive glass. That's amazing screens. Might not be spreading the floor or anything like that, but Steven Adams makes his presence known. Kyle Anderson, really, really good rotational player off the bench where you can slide him in your starting lineup at a wing somewhere, depending who you're playing. Brandon Clark, Energizer Bunny off the bench. He hasn't been shooting it as well, but, he's aggressive. He can dunk. He's a really nice defender. Tyus Jones, I think he's the best backup point guard in the entire league. There's some other guys you might want to debate, but I like Tyus. I think he's amazing. Never turns it over. Efficient, can shoot, does a little bit of everything. DeAnthony Melton, one of the best guard defenders in the entire league. He doesn't get a lot of recognition because he plays with so many other really, really talented players. Zaire Williams, he's a rookie this year, and he's kind of fit himself in pretty nicely. For a rookie, it's hard when you got this many really good players to, niche out your spot in the rotation. But kudos to him. I think Zaire's been really, really nice this season. People gave them a lot of flack for trading up, and I think they traded up in the draft to get him. Or they might have traded down. I think they traded up. But and then John Conchar, he shoots about over 40% from three. You need that. Xavier Tillman, he's a big that can shoot. He plays really solid paint defense. He's a really good rotational big off your bench. I don't think he's a starter or anything like that, but he's also young. He's only been in the league like 2 years. And then this is my favorite part about it. Dylan Brooks is like their second best scorer, and he's only played like 21 games. And they've been this good. All 12 of those guys, legit rotation players. Argue with the wall if you don't agree with me. If you do, tell me which one's not, I guess. But I have a hard time making an argument against any of these guys. But this team has been great pretty much without Dylan Brooks for about half the season. And Dylan Brooks is like a 20-point-per-game scorer who plays defense. He gets under people's skin. It's just time and time again you see him doing that. And he's that guy you love to have on your team and hate to play against. Right? That's kind of how I look at it. But this team, look at this. I'm talking about this team here. They're first in steals, first in blocks, first in rebounds per game. So basically the defense is just on one. That's why we always, with the steals and the blocks and stuff like that, that's why we see all these John Morant alley-oop highlights, is because they get after it on defense. And that's really rare for young, because I think this team's pretty young. They've got some vets sprinkled in. But for a team this young to play as good of defense as they do, and then they're 10th in turnovers per game, so they're top 10 in not turning the ball over. To be this good on defense and to be this smart with the ball at a pretty relatively young team, that's remarkable. And that's why I think this team is dangerous. They're 5th in points and 9th in assists. So they move the rock. Everybody gets to touch it. Everybody gets to score. And you guys have an absolute dynamo superstar leading your team. And honestly, I started looking at it and I was like, they might have a big three that's kind of interchangeable when you have Dylan Brooks back. But Jaw, obviously, he's the head of the snake. But Desmond Bane, he's been incredible this year. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. And then, like I said, when you had Dylan Brooks, there's like 4 guys right there that most nights, 3 of them are probably going to be playing really, really well. So I think they've got like a big three. But for this season, because Dylan's missed so much time, Ja, Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr., they average about 61 points together. If your team scores about 110, 115, like they're scoring like 60% of your points. You take that from a big three any time of the day. That means 20, 20, and 20, basically, if you averaged it out. But I really, really like this team. I don't think people are taking them serious enough because like, oh, it's a young team, well, we don't know. Like they lost in the playoffs last year, and it's like, yeah, they were a young team that made the playoffs last year. And they won a game against the 1 seed last year, and now they're coming back with experience. I would not want to be any team in the West that has to play them because they're scrappy, they talk a whole lot of trash, and they back it up. Like that's the team you just want to avoid. You would just prefer to not play them. You prefer to play like Luka and the Mavericks, not disrespecting Luka or anything, but like that like it's Luka and everybody else. But this team, while Ja is an MVP level player right now, there's so much talent there, and it's just when they're chirping at you and they're locking you down, they're forcing you to turn the ball over, and they're alley-oop dunks, Bane hitting threes. I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to be the Suns having to play them. I wouldn't want to be the Warriors the Warriors have had trouble with the Grizzlies. Like I feel like the Grizzlies are one of those teams in the league that I think Josh said this very recently. They fear nobody, and they should not fear anybody because they're legit. I think they're legit title contenders. I don't know because it is hard when they are young, but I definitely think this team is getting to at least the second round this year. And whoever they play, it's probably, if they lose, it's probably going 6 or 7 games. And if they went further, if they made it to the finals, would I be surprised? I mean, I'd be a little surprised given that like going from one playoff round to making the finals the next year. I mean, it can definitely happen. I'm not saying that I don't think it will, but I don't think it's the most likely thing. They're special. And I think this is like the makings for maybe if they don't win this year, it's next year. And I know that they've got to re-sign some guys in the offseason, I think, but I think you get it like the way Ja is playing right now, it's like 30 plus a night, and you get Bane shooting 40% from 3, averaging like 17 or 18 points. You got Jaren putting up like 17. I think Jaren's getting better as the season's going on. I'm starting to see him with the ball. Like he looks more comfortable with it in his hands now. And like, he's not just kind of just chucking. Like I've seen him, inside out, hezzy, reverses. He's getting to the rim and he's playing confident. And I think that's the thing this team has. The entire team just plays confident. And they play like a team that you just do not want to run into. Plain and simple. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed it, like the video. I really appreciate it. I need it. Need all the help I can get here. But yeah, Memphis, they're legit. People got to start taking them serious. Not just Ja Morant, the rest of the team. Peace.